So I have these types of dreams occasionally, not every night luckily, but occasionally. It's always about the same, either my ex, my dad coming back from the dead, or me being back inside the cult, but knowing I'm no longer a cult member, but they don't know it. So this time my ex came when I was in a bus looking outside onto a lake, and we were on a Christmas trip actually. Those were the trips we took inside the cult. We traveled to Asia during winter time. Therefore, I have been to and Bali. I almost traveled to Japan, but then Fukushima happened and I didn't go, but still like to one day, and I still want to see South Korea. I also have been to China, but certainly would like to see some more because China is really huge and very interesting places to see. But I digress. Back to the dream. So strangely, my ex appeared suddenly on that Christmas trip too, and it was not pleasant. I actually then threw my ex out of the bus, and that was it. And then later on in the dream, I tried to change my money, and then suddenly I was in New York. That's where we had to go for celebrations. Those are the stores on Parsons Boulevard, of course sky blue. So one is a stationery, one is a store that sells Indian saris for girls to dress, one is a cafe where you could have breakfast, and one is a health food store. Quite a nice combination, so of course we always went shopping there. Twice a year when I went to New York. This is across the street, the big restaurant Anambrama, and then there was one girl. She used to be a roommate here with me in Switzerland. I even found a picture of her. So she was from Slovakia, and that's why we understood each other, because I speak Czech. And she is not the easiest person to be around to begin with. And then on top of that, she would definitely report you when she thought that you did not follow the rules, or if you actually liked somebody too much. And I think it was thanks to her that at the big store where I worked with another girl, that's the big store I worked last before I left the cult, and we were a good team. We had fun working together, and that obviously was too much for this girl who reported us, so we got separated, no longer working together. That's how it was in the cult. You were not allowed to be friends. too much with somebody else. And she was really pushy, you know, trying to be the top disciple and follow the rules to a T. So I didn't feel so comfortable having her as a roommate. So inside the dream, when I came to New York, they put us together as roommates, unfortunately. So in the dream, I talked to her and we decided we could cook interchangeably, one day her, one day me. But then I remembered, oh, shite, I'm not a vegetarian anymore. I need to have meat. I cannot even digest the vegetarian stuff because I have the histamine intolerance and all those other intolerances. I need to have my meat. I need to find a steakhouse. It doesn't work that I cook vegetarian food. That's all inside the dream, okay? I actually thought, how will I do that? How will I pretend to be still a member of the cult, but go and eat meat? Because it is a rule in this particular cult to be vegetarian. So I had to sneak away in my dream and find a steakhouse. And I was wandering around and I had to really be careful not to be seen. And that's how I woke up. Still looking for a steakhouse. Interesting, right? That you would dream something like that. In my dreams, I still travel to New York during celebration. This is how we were sitting. So those dreams reflect the things that I used to be afraid of. So especially the people, my dad, and then this girl from the cult, celebrations, New York in particular, because of all those people. It was very stressful. And then one topic seems to be about no longer being a vegetarian, but really needing to eat meat, but having to be secretive about it when I'm back in the cult. And then another topic again is my ex, because it included physical violence. It was one of the big traumas, and I still have dreams about it. It comes up again and again. Luckily not every night. What a relief. And then I have another type of dream that keeps repeating itself. It's not always exactly the same, but the theme is the same. So my dad coming back from being dead, he tried to use his credit card and couldn't, obviously, because his bank account doesn't exist anymore. And I was so afraid in the dream to tell him. I had quite a few of those. My dad coming back from the dead, suddenly being there in my life again. Strange. and I am not sure what this wants to tell me. But obviously, it is a sign of PTSD. You may often re-experience the trauma that you endured. This may occur during the day or at night. Nighttime memories often manifest as distressing dreams or nightmares in which the event is relived. Additionally, intrusive daytime memories called flashbacks may occur. People living with PTSD commonly complain of nightmares. Some studies report up to 80% of those with PTSD experience nightmares that have them reliving or re-experience the traumatic event. The pain of PTSD follows you into your dreams. We all have dreams. The mind tries to work out problems to save memories. Dreams in PTSD are different. The same dream recurs. It is as if you are living through the event all over again. People with PTSD can wake up screaming. If you are afraid to go to sleep for fear you will have that dream again, or you don't remember the last time you had a full night's sleep, you should be checked out for PTSD. So I don't wake up screaming, but I woke up trying to hit somebody. And doing that, I almost fell out of my bed because the movement of my swinging arm was so violent. On rare occasions, I dream that I want to scream, but can't because my mouth is shut like this. Yeah, and then there are many things that trigger memories, especially saris. Reminds me of the cult every single time. We had to wear them for meditation, and I never felt comfortable with that pressure above my belly button. I really hated that. It stressed me out. And then, yes, I avoid places or doing things. I avoid the place, the store I used to work. I have not been in there for almost 10 years. I completely avoid it. I do not want to set foot into that store ever again. This is a chain of gift shops in Switzerland that belong to the cult. She was my roommate too. She is actually quite nice, but very, very, very brainwashed. And she has the music ensemble Mountain Silence. And I used to be a member of that Mountain Silence ensemble too. We even traveled to Russia to give concerts, Hungary, Lithuania, but those tours were really stressful. We also gave concerts in Switzerland, of course. So here, this is a newer picture. Here is me. Funny thing is that most of those members are no longer in the cult. So she left, she left, she left, she left, she left, and she left. I'm not on this picture, that's an older picture. But the name Mountain Silence is corrupted for me. It always reminds me of that group. but I happen to really love the silence in the mountains. But whenever I talk about that pristine silence, I'm reminded of that group. And this is how I was pulled into the cult. Still during my relationship, because it went so sour and I really suffered and I was passively suicidal and I didn't know how to get out of it, so I came across that music by the cult from the Mountain Silence group, and somehow that music carried me through the difficult time I had during the relationship. And you see, most people join a cult, especially during a time of challenge, when they really struggle and feel vulnerable. Then they are the most open to join a cult. Same with me. And this music, it's catchy. And the violin player, I used to work with her in the big store. Now I must say, I really don't like this type of music anymore. It's quite heavy. But that's how I got pulled into the cult, through the music at first. And then I participated in a free meditation class. And that's how I joined. And I connected with them. And she invited me to work in the store in Winterthur when she was in New York. So that's how I moved to Winterthur. And she was another roommate. She came before the one I had the dream about. Oh man, and I was really quite walking on eggshells around this one. Unfortunately, it seems they have branched out. New yoga center where I live. You see, this is how they recruit people. They give yoga classes, maybe even for free, and then you can become a member of the Sri Chinmoy cult. This is from the outside, and when I am on my bike, I usually pass through here. But since I have discovered that they have this new store or yoga center, whatever, I avoid to pass through. I take another route. They no longer know who I am. I'm not sure. If there are new people, they will not know my face. I really don't want to talk to anybody of those people. Took me long enough to escape this mind cage, and I really don't want to be pulled back into it. although I don't think it could ever happen again, because I am no longer a believer. Just the energy those people have. No need to expose myself to that, right? The place where I was diagnosed with Asperger's autism, they really refused to diagnose me with PTSD. And they did not even test me for that. They told me I was not the expert and that they had asked me questions and that I did not even react to those questions, therefore I had no PTSD. What kind of stupid argumentation is that? I will react to specific triggers, right? Triggers that will remind me of the trauma. But of course I will have no reaction to things that don't remind me of the traumas. But I just wanted to make this video saying that in my book I definitely have signs of PTSD, and those dreams being one of them.